Meteorologist Serena Arnold, the Storm Prediction Center, a division of NOAA, upgraded the severe storm potential for today, Saturday, March 15th, the Ides of March, up to a high risk. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 is the most severe, and this is a very, very stern warning for everybody who lives in these areas today. The tornado risk today is off the charts, looking at a 30% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point within that pink area. And anywhere it's hashed and you see like those black lines is any place that there's a 10% or greater chance of seeing a significant tornado. We are talking strong tornadoes, EF2 or greater, that can be prolonged and last for a very long period of time. Today is not to be taken lightly. Here's the wind threat and the hail threat. Now, this is a 2-day event. The first whole part of the severe weather we had was yesterday, and this is what happened yesterday. Over 25 tornado reports with more probably to come in, and a tremendous amount of wind and hail reports. And a lot of these hail reports were over 2 inches, and the high wind reports over 65 knots, over 70 miles an hour. Today is going to be much worse. Weather balloons, those things that some National Weather Service offices are losing funding to be able to still do, is our main key in looking at severe storm forecasting. This photograph right here is textbook. And that's because these winds are shearing with height, they are shearing in speed and direction, and this is what provides as a piece of the puzzle for long-standing, long-tracking supercells, which produce devastating tornadoes. And another one here, seeing that profile, this is really dangerous. And people need to understand this type of weather in the southeastern United States in March is the new normal. This is not what we used to see 30 years ago. Tornado Alley is absolutely shifting, and it's not just those like central states, right, where you go from the Dakotas to Texas anymore. It's really encompassing a lot further eastern parts, and we're getting a lot more early season tornadoes and shoulder season tornadoes. And today is going to be a very bad outbreak at times where we didn't see this happen before. And these aren't just watches and warnings we're talking about. We're talking about PDS, watches and warnings, which PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. This doesn't happen very often. We don't get many of these a year, and there were 9 PDS warnings, actually up to 11 at one point yesterday. Today is going to be worse. And this is the time those radar technicians that we need that were let go from NOAA are more important than ever, because it's this radar that helps us see where we have these velocity couplets, where we know we can see rotation in a storm, where we can see debris signatures. This one we had debris up to 13,500 feet with like 80 knot different shear here at these lower levels. We don't know this without radar, and this is the most important piece that we have to know where a tornado is located and how bad it is real time. And SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, has been on this. This is a time lapse of the forecasts 8 days before the event. They have been telling us for 8 days this area is going to be dangerous. Because today's the day, and this was yesterday's graphic. And so from 8 days before, 8 days from now, you don't know what you're going to have for breakfast. Yet the Storm Prediction Center, a division of NOAA, the best meteorologists that we have in this country, were able to say this is an area you need to be concerned about. 8 days. Now let's talk about the severity of a high-risk situation. Only 3 times since 2006 has a high risk been issued in a day 2 SPC forecast. And here's the instances when that happened. And if you go back and look at what happened on these dates, you're going to realize that this needs to be taken seriously. And NOAA is an absolutely critical piece of our entire national infrastructure. SPC also puts out a forecast discussion talking about long-tracked, potentially violent tornadoes. The most dangerous tornado threat should be beginning across eastern Louisiana and Mississippi during the late morning to afternoon, spread across Alabama late today into the evening, and reach western parts of the Florida Panhandle and Georgia tonight. Last thing I'm going to say about this high-risk situation is that just doesn't happen very often. You get like 2 to 3 per year, but there have been years and times, and this is totally through ChatGPT, so it may not be perfectly accurate, but I know that this happens very infrequently, being a meteorologist for over 20 years. There's some years it doesn't happen at all. We've had massive breaks and stretches, like here, pause and take a look and see what you want to see. This high risk needs to be taken incredibly seriously, and people who live in that area absolutely know it. If you want to follow along with live severe weather coverage, the Stormfront Freaks podcast Outbreak is going to be live today, I think starting at 3 o'clock Eastern time, to kind of follow along with what's going on. If things start popping a lot earlier, they may get on earlier. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if I'll be on or not. Maybe later this afternoon or this evening I can pop on for a bit. I've got some other obligations this morning, but if you want to know what's going on live, this is a great way to do it. You can even go into it, click now, and have it notify you when they go live, so you're ready to go. Unfortunately, we are just in the few hours before a potentially historic meteorological tornado outbreak.